بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we are now in the last odd nights. The Prophet ﷺ in the hadith, as Aisha narrated here in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, Aisha narrates that كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا دخل العشر شد مئزره. So when the 10 nights starts, the Prophet ﷺ will tighten his belt. وأحيا ليلة. He'll stay awake. Do ihya for his night, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. وأيقظ أهله. And he will wake up his family, alayhi salatu wassalam. So three things Aisha is mentioning here, radiyallahu ta'ala anha. The last 10 nights, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam will be doing. Number one, he will tighten his belt, which is an indication that he will be, alayhi salatu wassalam, away from his home and away from his wives. And usually he will be doing his i'tikaf in the mosque. And Aisha narrated on another occasion that she used to erect in the mosque like in our language today, like a tent, small tent made from reed mat, like hasir or qasab or bamboo, something like that. So she will put it in the mosque for the Prophet ﷺ. I know some of you never heard this before. We tend to think that he used to do i'tikaf in the mosque in the open. No, he used to do i'tikaf in the mosque, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but inside a small tent, sort of, in the mosque. He will be doing his ibadah there, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So he will leave his house and stay in the mosque for the last 10 nights. And this is what the i'tikaf is about, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And probably we know now the meaning of i'tikaf more, because we are in self-isolation, which is a bit close to the meaning of i'tikaf. To isolate yourself from the world around you. Although we've been pushed to do that, but nevertheless there's hikmah and wisdom and Allah's destiny subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if we didn't understand sometime. So Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha is saying that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the last 10 nights, he will do things which usually he will never do in this particular manner, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Only in the last 10 nights. So i'tikaf, he wasn't doing i'tikaf, but in Ramadan, the last 10 nights. Tell the narrations which we have, that this was the last thing he has done, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, doing i'tikaf the last 10 nights. In the very beginning of Ramadan, when he was alayhi salatu wassalam, introduced to Laylatul Qadr. Of course, he has no knowledge about it, but he's been told by Jibreel that there is Laylatul Qadr and seek Laylatul Qadr and so on. So he started seeking Laylatul Qadr in the first 10 nights of Ramadan. And then Jibreel came down and he said, what you are after is ahead of you. And then he made the i'tikaf in the second 10 nights of Ramadan. And then Jibreel came and he said, what you are after is ahead of you. Then he made the i'tikaf the last 10 nights of Ramadan, and this was the sunnah till he passed away, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So he will isolate himself and go into i'tikaf mode, if you want, inside the mosque. And Allah mentioned this in the Quran, by the way. When you read the verses of Siyam, verse number 187 in Surah Al-Baqarah, the verses of Siyam starts around 183, it finishes 187. وَلَا تُبَاشِرُهُنَّ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. So don't come close to your wives, don't have any connection with them, i.e. intimate relationship, whilst you are in the state of i'tikaf in the mosque. So in the mosque, if you are in i'tikaf, yes, so you can't do that, because this will nullify your i'tikaf. Okay, so we know for the matter of fact, in Ramadan, the definition of Siyam is refraining from eating and drinking and intimacy with your wife from dawn till dusk with the intention. This is the technical definition of Ramadan, or Siyam rather. Okay, but this is during the day, from dawn, Fajr, till Maghrib. From Fajr till Maghrib, you don't eat, you don't drink, you don't have intimacy. That's clear. In the last 10 nights, it goes beyond this. You do eat and drink in the evening, but the third thing here, which is the intimacy, you don't have intimacy at all if you are in the state of i'tikaf. Because it's a special time for Allah Azza wa Jal. So you don't allow anything to compete with your connection with Allah Azza wa Jal. This is what's behind i'tikaf, if you want, is giving priority to Allah in everything. So the Prophet ﷺ, in his i'tikaf, he used to do the i'tikaf in the mosque for 10 nights, ﷺ, and he won't leave his i'tikaf till Eid. So Eid, he will finish his i'tikaf, alayhi salatu wassalam. I know might be that some of you are asking, okay, we don't have mosques now, we can't, i.e. access the mosques. How can we do i'tikaf? You can do i'tikaf in your home. Try your best to not to communicate with anyone outside your room if you are living with your family. If you are living alone, your whole house is like a room, sort of, because you don't have anyone to communicate with. So you focus on your ibadah more. It's time for reflection. It's time for getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's time to look at your records this year, what you have done regarding your salah, regarding your ibadah, regarding your character, regarding work, etc. So it's time for reflection. It helps us to become better. When we review things, it makes us more aware of what is good and what is better, what is worse, and so on. So he used, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to go into i'tikaf the last 10 nights, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, away from his family, away from his children, and he's just in the mosque. And they used to give him his food, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and serve his food to the mosque, and he will eat in the mosque, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And sometimes as well, as Aisha narrated, that he will come near the house because, you know, his house is next to the mosque. He will open his door, he will be inside the mosque. So he will stand in front of the a wall of his house, like a window or something, and Aisha will comb his hair, alayhi salatu wassalam, and will be saying that she used to do this to the Prophet whilst he was in i'tikaf, and so on. So he will spend his time, alayhi salatu wassalam, of course, in salah, in recitation of the Quran, in dua, and as well, he will have some naps and sleep and some rest, which is the common thing. So when the last 10 nights start, the Prophet ﷺ will tighten his belt. Okay. It means he will have more focus into his worship, no interruptions, even family, even children, nothing, no interruptions. His aim is to be more focused on his ibadah. Somebody might ask the question as well, is it not allowed for women to do i'tikaf? Yes, to a certain extent, depends on circumstances, the details, the availability of the space in the mosque, in the normal scenarios, not now. In general, yes. Yes. So he will be focusing, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, more into ibadah. And my recommendation always to our brothers and sisters, when it's the last 10 nights, don't be engaged and busy more into what to eat today and what's for the suhoor and what's for the iftar. And I'm not saying don't eat, definitely eat, yes, but don't make this your main focus. And even I went beyond this to the extent that some people might hate it. In the normal circumstances, I've said, do ask for delivery in the last 10 nights and let the sisters rest and have i'tikaf as well and have more focus on their salah, not to spend their time day and night either preparing for the meal or doing the dishes. This is not fair. Ramadan is not just for men. Ramadan is worship for men and women. So we need to facilitate for them as well to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this, just today I was on a phone call with some of my friends. She was telling me that her sister never done Taraweeh in her life because she was always left behind to do the dishes, and everyone leaves her in-laws and everyone leaves her to do the dishes and clean up, and she will never get a chance to do any Taraweeh or anything in Ramadan. This is the first year when she break free. She left her in-laws and she stayed by herself. She tasted for the first time since probably more than 30 years or so. The first time she tasted the meaning of having ibadah in Ramadan, Taraweeh and recitation. And look at injustice which we have sometimes in our culture. Injustice, no. They are both equal, men and women, in their ibadah. They have to have the chance to do their ibadah. So the Prophet ﷺ used to focus on his ibadah, and look what happened. One of his wives, more likely Aisha probably, she asked for a permission to make a small tent in the mosque as well to do her i'tikaf. So he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, yes, do. do I have the permission to make a tent in the mosque to do my ibadah? And Prophet ﷺ said, yes, i'tikaf. Then he left and he came back and he did find 6, 7 tents next to her. And he said, what's that? You know, jealousy from woman's side. How come Aisha can do this? I'm not doing this. I will do this. And the second one said, okay, how come she's doing this? I'm not doing this. Woman politics. May Allah bless them and radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. And then he was so angry with them, alayhi salatu wassalam. And he said, is it for Allah's sake you are doing this? So he was upset because he knew that this is not for Allah's sake in the first place. It's been done for the jealousy's sake. It's been done that, yeah, you want to do it, I will do it as well. How come you are allowed, I'm not allowed? So this is where shaitan comes into ibadah as well. And because of his anger, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he did not resume his i'tikaf that year. And this is on the authentic narrations. He didn't resume his i'tikaf, he stopped his i'tikaf. And he resumed his i'tikaf in Shawwal. In Shawwal, yes, after Ramadan. Because he has a commitment that he is doing the i'tikaf, so he's done his i'tikaf in Shawwal. And when I read this, I was, wow, what's that? He's teaching them, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, how to have sincere intention and ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jal, not to allow anything to interfere in your ibadah. Not jealousy, not envy, not nothing. You do it for Allah's sake. So the Prophet ﷺ will do i'tikaf. Okay. Will be focusing more on his ibadah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. As Aisha is saying, radiyallahu ta'ala anha, that he will tighten his belt. Okay. It means things are like rolling up your sleeves. Yeah, it means it's more focusing on what you are doing now and giving more time and energy for that. This is one of the meanings as well. And the second thing, which Aisha is mentioning here, radiyallahu anha, وَأَحْيَا لَيْلَةً, and he will stay awake during the night, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Under this, we have some discussion. Does it mean that he will stay awake all night or the majority of the night? More likely it's the majority of the nights. He will have some naps, short naps, or what we call it sometimes in our language today, the power nap. He will have some naps, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But nevertheless, it's about majority of his time will be awake, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Okay, what is it for? Because it's a special time. And this is what we cannot see in our own eyes. We need special lenses to see what's in these 10 nights. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a glimpse when he mentioned إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. What do you know about Laylatul Qadr? You don't know. Laylatul Qadr خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. So Laylatul Qadr is better than 83 months plus. 83 years, sorry, of ibadah. 1,000 months is around 83 years plus few months. One night. Which one? This is where the thingy. Which one is it? We have big discussion here. To cut a long story short. Different narrations, different explanations. But the majority is about the last 10 nights, and especially odd nights of these last 10 nights, and more likely the 27th. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ighfir lana warhamna wa samihna wa afina wa afu anna. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-'afwa wal-'afiyah wal-mu'afata ad-da'ima fi ad-din wad-dunya wal-akhirah. Allahumma innaka 'afuwwun tuhibbul 'afwa fa'fu 'anna. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. صلي على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين. آمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.